We live in a day and age where superhero films are becoming much more above the norm. We're having a superhero film come out every single month, not year anymore, it seems like. From DC to Marvel to even underrated comic companies are birthing new life and love into the superhero films and genre. Even Static Shock is getting his debut sometime from Jamie Gunn. So with the rise of superhero films all of a sudden popping up everywhere, making people like me happy, especially, where does a lot of superhero films actually go? Are there more? Well, there definitely sure is. My name is Lee's Universe. Welcome to the top 10, and this is the top 10 underrated superhero films, at least in my opinion, from those from either Marvel or DC or even other companies. This is an underrated list for the underrated superheroes and underdogs throughout the entire universe. This is the Lazy Universe Top 10. Greetings, geeks and nerds. I'm Lazy Universe, and I'm white and nerdy. And there are a lot of underrated superhero films out there. I mean, a lot that just really go into this entire category. In fact, I think you'd be interested on how I got into wanting to do this list. So this morning, while I was on Twitter, I noticed that a lot of people were talking about films that had like really big epic moments, like the moments where the actors and actresses really go all out and put on their A game performances. And Erod, the blockbuster buster, put up the Kick-Ass 2, and I was like, this is a really underrated, superhero film, like both of them are. And then that got me thinking, like, wait, I should do a top 10 based on my favorite underrated superhero films, and I think that would be cool and everybody would like it. And that's why we're here. So these films have to be, in my opinion, underrated. Now, they can have a huge cult following and have a lot of people be rooting for them, but here is the solution with the list. They have to be, in my opinion, underrated, or at least for some people not to even notice or remember. So there's going to be a lot of heroes on this list that you guys are going to be like, wait, what? Yeah, so just keep that in mind. Also, one of the films that I did want to spotlight, I don't actually own a copy yet, and I know that a lot of people are fans of it, is Sky High. It is a definitely underrated superhero film that was made by Disney in 2005, I think, and it was really an underrated superhero film. I don't own a copy yet, but I eventually will. So let that be known that that is an honorable mention for this list. It would have been probably at least at like number 2 or 3 because I really do like Sky High. So in case people are wondering, where's Sky High? I don't own it, but I'm giving it an honorable mention here before the list begins. So just remember that this is just my criticism of where these films are. So if you like them or if you hate them, just remember it's my list. We're just having fun with it. Number 2, these are just my opinions of the movies, and also they're not reviews. They're just a quick criticism of the film, truthfully. And finally, number 3, let's just have fun. So I don't want people in the comment section down below being like, for example, oh, I don't like this film. We'll just say the remake of Judge Dredd because I thought that it was stupid, or I don't like the movie of Spawn because I think that it's stupid, or the CGI is shit, and blah 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 blah. And smarticles. Good for you, you're smart. Next, not to pick on my audience, but it's kind of like I just don't want that one smartass to be in there and do that because I'll go, leave. Just leave. No other sense, it's just leave. So just be sure and be retrospective that this is just my list. You guys don't have to agree with it. You can agree with it. And if I don't have one of your favorite films, be sure to tell me in the comment section down below and what you agree and disagree with. So with that out of the way, let's begin the countdown. This is the top 10 underrated superhero films. Number 10. Jonah Hex. Say what you want about this small-time cowboy movie based on a DC comic book hero that nobody really knows about. I don't care because this film, in my opinion, is pretty damn awesome. Josh Brolin stars as a cowboy, Jonah Hex, who's going to looking after Quentin Turnbull to get revenge on him for scarring his face and murdering his family and trying to kill the United States of America. Granted, the acting could be a little bit better, and some of the moments aren't as big as we like them to be, but granted, I still like Jonah Hex for what it's worth because it's a pretty good superhero film, all things considering. Truthfully, too, I'm not a big fan of Western movies, but this one caught my attention just for being a damn good story about an underrated superhero from DC's history. All things considering, yeah, it's a pretty decent superhero film and one worth checking out if you're interested. Even if you don't like westerns, I still recommend giving it at least one watch. Number 9. Spawn. Say what you will about this film, and I don't care that it's getting a remake. This original Spawn film, in my opinion, is very underrated and awesome. Michael Jai White stars as Al Simmons, a hitman working for his boss, played by Martin Sheen, who ends up wanting to leave the business after so many years. But things don't go as planned for poor Al Simmons because he ends up getting murdered by his boss, but he ends up being resurrected as one, the only Hellspawn. Okay. Spawn does have some CG acting and some also cheesy moments, and also it's not that great as a film in total, but give it take. It is one of my all-time guilty pleasure movies. I don't know why I love this movie so much, but I just do, and I get a smile on my face every time I pop it in my DVD player. Yes, this is a goofy movie. Yes, the CGI is atrocious. Yes, everything about it and the special effects are pretty dated. But you know what? I just don't care. This was Spawn's very first debut film, and you know what? For all the things that's worth it and all the money and effort and time they put into it, Spawn is always going to be one of my favorite underrated movies. Number 8. Constantine. Paranormal investigator John Constantine, played by Keanu Reeves, is going after the stuff of the supernatural and paranormal and the things of nightmares. But why all of a sudden? It takes Mr. Constantine down a road of no return, and down a road that he cannot turn back from, as he goes on a quest to save the lives of New Yorkians and to save the world as a total. But worst come to worst, Constantine is also in the fight for his life because he developed lung cancer from smoking too much ever since he was at the age of 13. This film also has a lot, and I do mean a lot of Christianity symbolisms in going for it, but you know something, I can abide by that and really enjoy it for what it is, and it's a superhero film. What it is worth, Keanu Reeves pulls his A game in this movie and really showed us the kind of guy that he can be, and since this is his very first superhero film that he had done, he plays the role very seriously. Until, and if we ever, get a remake of this movie, I have to say, go and watch yourself some Constantine. It is a great time, and also, the holy shotgun. I don't know what's more awesome. The fact that it's the fucking crucifix and the fucking shotgun, or the fact that it's a shotgun in the form of a cross. It's just fucking hilarious to me. It's just like, and the Lord saith, you're gonna be tasting my boomstick by the end of the night. Ash Williams would be so. Ash Williams would be so proud. God bless you, John Constantine. Number 7. Hancock. A superhero known only as John Hancock, played by Will Smith, is the world's Superman. He goes off to the world and he saves the world no matter he's the only one of his kind. Unlike Superman, the Man of Steel, Hancock is not well respected or loved by his peers, seen only as a mistake put on this world even though he is a superhero. But it's after when he's thrown in prison when the world finally realizes, and himself as well, what it truly means to be a superhero, and that's why Hancock is one of my favorite underrated films. It's the rise and fall of a superhero, not a well-loved one, not a well-respected one, nothing too important, but the fact that he is a hero trying to do what he does best. That is, trying to be human and fit in with the entire world, even if the world doesn't want him to belong. It is a great underrated superhero movie in my opinion. Number 6. The Medallion. A police officer, known as Eddie Yang, played by Jackie Chan, is on a quest to save a child, a very special child, in an illegal operation run by a man known only as Snakehead. But the mission doesn't go as intended when Eddie Yang ends up becoming kidnapped and almost basically put in a threatening situation where he and the boy are about to die. But unfortunately of these situations, Eddie Yang does end up dying. He ends up becoming lifeless. He is no longer with us. But we can put his ass up and bury him with my bicycle. But Eddie Yang is not really dead. No. In fact, the young boy of the movie ends up giving him a piece of his medallion and grants Jackie Chan with superpowers. The medallion is a goofy concept of a movie. What if this rare strange man gets superpowers? What would happen? Everything and everything. Jackie Chan has every powers of a god, but yet he has to face off against evil man Julian Sands as Snakehead. The Medallion is such an awesome film, but it's too bad that it's sadly underrated and overrated by other action films. But if you give it the time, I recommend checking out The Medallion. Number 4. Wait for it. Zoom Academy for Superheroes. An ex-superhero, Jack Shepard, aka Captain Zoom, had retired from his life as superhero and somehow lost all of his superpowers. That is until the Zenith Project is born, where superhuman children are going to be found and united for a certain team that they will have to face off against an unknown threat. Now, at first, as you'd expect, Shepard wants nothing to do with the children that are gifted, and he does not want to become their mentor, let alone their teacher. But as time goes on, Shepard begins to open up to the teens, tell them more about his life, and start to realize that maybe, just maybe, he should trust in this new team. Okay, it's pretty obvious that Zoom Academy for Superheroes is technically a parody of Marvel's X-Men, but you know what? I love it just for that reason because I love the X-Men myself. This film doesn't have everything that you think that it does. It's pretty crappy, it's not really good, and some of the acting is pretty damn cheesy, but above all, it's pretty damn good, truthfully. And also, somehow, don't ask me how, Zoom gets back his superpowers. I think that the writers of the movie forgot that he had superpowers and then wrote it in pretty quickly just so he could have it. All in all, this is a pretty great superhero movie that is sadly very, very underrated that I wish that more people were talking about, but I guess I will here. Go check out Zoom Academy for Superheroes. Number 3. Black Mask. Black Mask tells the story of an unknown superhero, played by Jet Li, who ends up getting a serum to be transformed into the world's best super soldier known only as Black Mask. He escaped through his criminal organization, his criminal training, and everything else with the word criminal in it, to become the quiet life of a one librarian. Only a few selected people know that he really is Black Mask, but the hero had been dead for quite some time, so nobody really knows that he ever existed except for the librarian himself. But when crime resurges, it's up to Black Mask to rise again to try to take down a criminal empire that once created him, making this a little bit of more of a worthy successor story. Black Mask is purely an underrated superhero movie. It really should be better than everything that it's worth, but unfortunately, it's really underrated by some people's standards. If I'm not mistaken, it does have a small cult following, but that only goes so far for this film. It really is a successful and pretty fantastic superhero movie, all things considering. And in fact, Jet Li plays a very awesome superhero in this role, only appearing in just this one movie and nothing else. But he gives it his A game and brings a spectacular superhero. Fun fact before we move on to number 2, and this I have to say for the film, not only did Jet Li bring up his great superhero A game, but fun fact, Jet Li's costume design in this movie is designed after Kato from the Green Hornet series, originally played by the great and legendary martial artist Bruce Lee. Why? Because in China, the Green Hornet was known as the Kato Show, and Bruce Lee was technically seen as a superhero at the time. even though he had the right to be a superhero with the fastest kicks and hardest punches still in martial arts history. The more you know, but the less that some people don't care. But I had to get nerdy on y'all's asses, so I apologize in advance. Black Mask is a really superb superhero film that should be seen by anyone and everyone because it is such a damn good film and Jet Li again brings his A game straight to the table. Number two, the Kick-Ass movies. Both of them. Both of them are highly awesome and both of them are so goddamn underrated. Kick-Ass is about the life and adventure of a man named Dave Lewinsky who wondered why aren't there really superheroes in the real world, and thought, what would happen if there really was superheroes? Sets him out on a quest to become the world's first superhero, and when he does, he ends up becoming pretty popular rather damn quickly if you can actually believe that or not. But before he becomes insanely popular, he starts to realize that being a superhero is not it's all cracked up to be, and it's not like it is in the comic books, unfortunately. In fact, on his very first job, on his very first mission, I would say, he tried to stop a couple muggers, although he ended up being stabbed and then later on hit by a car. Kick-Ass soon realizes he is not the only superhero in the world once he meets Hit Girl, who ends up saving his ass once he goes into a drug lord's house and tries to demand him to leave a friend of his alone. Also ends up meeting her father, Big Daddy, played by man, myth, and legend Nicolas Cage, as he realizes that they are more of a superhero than he will ever be because he made up this game and now regrets it. Despite everything that happened to poor Dave and also Big Daddy, he still wants to be a superhero, leaving only his movement to be the true power of his words. But then Kick-Ass 2 came along and reminded us, oh shit, movies can get better, and indeed with both Kick-Ass films, they are highly kick-ass and very kick-underrated. Both of these films are highly underrated but very freaking awesome for the world they have created, especially for the world of superheroes as a total and as a whole. Now, granted, Kick-Ass might not be the greatest film in the world for a lot of people, but for what it's worth, Kick-Ass really showed its game at being a different kind of superhero film, but a refreshing one. It just pains me so much that both Kick-Ass films are highly decent and very well made, but unfortunately have a very small cult following and little creativity. But god damn it if it doesn't serve on such a great finale with superheroes beating the crap out of supervillains. I freaking love it! And my number one favorite underrated superhero movie just happens to be Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Michael Cera plays an awkward man known only as Scott Pilgrim, and his life is not all it's cracked up to be, even though he is pretty much a ladies' man. But he happens to find fate in a woman that he happens to love, known only as Ramona Flowers, and Scott is really pleasant for this girl and in fact wants to date her. But when he does, he finds out that the life of the one that he wants is not at all it's cracked up to be, especially since he has to face Ramona's 7 evil exes. This movie is so damn funny, so damn awesome, and just one of the most impressive superhero movies that I have ever seen. And yes, I did say superhero movie because Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is an actual comic book printed by Oni Press, so you're welcome. This is one of the best superhero movies that I've ever seen, and you know what? Not too many people talk about how great of a film that this is because it really is so damn cool. Okay, so granted it might not be the film for everybody, and the special effects aren't nothing really to look at, but the story, and the comedy, and the smart directing, it just... this movie is so good! If you have the chance, go and check out this amazing and awesome, smart, creative movie, because you will not regret of how great of a movie that it is. I want to have your children. We can have our dream children together. I know. Shh, 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 shh. I know. I can never have sex with you. My penis is too... Oh, God, hi. You're here. That never happened. What you heard never happened. We do not discuss this. Ever. At all. Period. I'm just kidding up. But anyway, that is my top 10 favorite underrated movies, like the ones that I really do love, and the one that I think are pretty underrated. Do you agree with my list or do you not? Let me know in the comments down below. And again, I wish I had Sky High because I probably would have put it at number 3 or number 2, but respectively, it does get an honorable mention. And in case people are thinking that I was going to add The Crow on the list, I was tempted to, but then I remembered that The Crow is not really an underrated film. I mean, it gotten a huge cult following throughout the years, and even still nowadays, it's still as famous as it was when it came out. So I thought about it, but that's another honorable mention is Brandon Lee's The Crow. I have reviewed it on this channel too, so you can go and check that review out if you want to. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter with a link in the description down below. And shout out to Erod the Blockbuster Buster just for giving me this random idea. I will have a link to his channel either with a pinned comment or in the description down below where you can go and find him and check him out. He's a pretty awesome dude. Um, I might shout him out on Twitter just for giving me this idea. So, yeah, thumbs up to Erod the Blockbuster Buster. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. And as always, I've been Lazy Universe, I've been waiting nerdy, and keep geeking on. Until next time.